Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we'll be taking a look at the Candy Toy set for Mobile Suit Gundam G-Frame 03. And essentially what these are just Candy Toy model kits where one of them is the kind of robotic frame you can see here, and then the second one is the set of armor to put over top of it. So I just kind of discovered these randomly and just thought they looked like a lot of fun, especially since this is the RX-78, which is the original Gundam, one of my favorites. So just kind of randomly stumbled upon this on HLJ and decided to give it a go. So you can see the first two here. This is the frame and this is the armor for the RX-78. And then we also have these two here for the MS-06S Char's Zaku 2, also from the original Mobile Suit Gundam. So you have the armor and the, well, this is the frame, this is the armor. And then we have this one, which I'm not too familiar with, but is the MSN 00100 Hyaku Shinki armor? Hyaku Shiki? So again, I'm not super familiar with this one, but I thought it looked pretty cool as well. And again, you have the frame and the armor. So there's not too much going on the boxes, just kind of tells you what else is going on. Just another picture of them on the back, and then nothing really going on there. So I thought they looked fun. I'm going to go ahead and put them together, and then we'll take a closer look. Alright, so I've taken them all out of the boxes and assembled them, and I have to say, I'm really impressed with these. I like them quite a bit, and I'm glad I decided to take a chance on them. They have great articulation, absolutely no stickers, which you guys know by now, I really hate stickers. This is all paint. It looks fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and take off these accessories first so we can get a look at everything, and then I'll show you how everything works. So obviously, first up we have the RX-78. Head sculpt fantastic. Again, all paint in the chest. I mean, some of these are just obviously molded in different colored plastic, but it all works. Looks great. So articulation wise, head is on a ball joint. Also, there's a neck joint you can see rocks back and forth. The shoulder moves, you have in and out. There's kind of two joints. There's one inside there which goes a little bit back and forth. Then obviously it spins, and then there's the joint up and down. You have the bicep swivel. I think that's actually just a ball joint in there. And then you have the elbow joint. The fist can actually pop out. And there are some other hands I'll show you in a minute, but for the most part, these are the ones that can hold all the accessories, so you may want to just keep these in, but they do give you another set of hands for each. There is kind of two joints in here, and basically how it works, you can see where the blue is kind of moves up and down, as well as the actual like waist that goes from side to side. There's a ball joint here in the waist, and then there's another joint up here in kind of the abdomen, so that's kind of nice. These flaps can move up and down so they don't hinder the ball joints in the hip. As you can see, it's just a ball joint there in the hip. Then you have a thigh swivel. You have two joints in the knees. And then you have a ball joint for the ankle. So these things are crazy articulated. Now, I got a full box of these. I believe there's 10 in a box, and the box on HLJ was, I believe, 40. So that kind of puts these at around like $5 to $6 a piece. That's per box, but each one of these is 2 boxes. So it's kind of like $10 to $12, and it's like a crazy articulated action figure. So I feel like it's really not bad. Now these little things can sometimes be annoying, but basically what it is this front piece has these two on ball joints that plug into it, and then you push this in, and that's what kind of holds them in place. So sometimes they can get a little loose, but you just kind of have to like pull them back into the joint. It's really not that big a deal. But yeah, so it's kind of just like a nice articulated Gundam action figure for like $10 to $12, which I think is pretty good deal. I mean, if you think about like a Power Ranger action figure, I just happen to have this handy. I would say it's got more articulation and probably more paint applications, honestly, especially when you bring in the accessories and everything like that. So you can see he gets a beam sword, which unfortunately is molded all in one color. Would have been awesome if it wasn't, but I understand. And that's just, you can see the handle is very thin, and that's just so it can fit, plugs right into these hands very simply. And I think it looks really good. I do wish that either one, these were in white because in the show they were white, or you could unplug them. But I get it. I just wish you could, when he holds the beam sword, you're always going to have two back there, but it's not a big deal. You have his signature gun, which looks fantastic. Again, very thin handle, so it just slides right in there, and it looks great. And then you have this his shield, which again looks fantastic, beautifully painted, and it has this clip. And how this works is this clips into these little spots here, so you just kind of bring it underneath the forearm here, and it clips right into place, and now he just has a shield. My only complaint, I wish the shield could somehow peg into the backpack, even if all they would have had to do is put a little peg here, because you could take this off like this, and you would have that peg hole, and so if they just had a little peg on the back, then you could peg this on the back like this, because he did wear it like that in the show quite a bit, or the anime rather. And so just be able to have the shield on his back, I think would have looked really cool. But I understand, you know, I mean, I don't think it would have been that big a deal to put a little peg back there. Maybe they just thought it would look weird, you know, sticking out all the time. So it was an aesthetic thing, but it would have been neat. I would have really loved it, but I can totally live without it because these are really nice. And I know this is kind of the third set of these, and I'm just finding out about them now, so I'll have to go back and see if the other ones are accessible and what's coming out in each wave. I think there's a fourth one coming out in a few months. But the reason this one caught my eye was because it had the RX-78 and the Sharzaku. And I was like, oh, I have to check this out. And then the gold one looks really cool, too. And again, I apologize that I don't remember its name. But really, really great. Moving on now to the Red Zaku for Char. He has this giant bazooka, which I kind of wish it rested a little bit like more logically on the shoulder. They have it at this handle at kind of a weird angle. And I guess you can kind of get it like that, which doesn't look bad. But I kind of like it when they can just have it kind of like, just kind of run up the side of their arm and then just kind of hold it like that. Like you can see it's kind of a weird angle. But he's got this giant bazooka accessory. And then, of course, he's got the axe, which looks great. Now, the axe has a little peg on the side of it. So you can actually clip this to the side of his waist right here. And it's up to you to figure out the best way to attach it. I think the directions actually show like this. But I think that looks kind of weird. I kind of like to just spin it around. And clip it on like this. But then again, that looks a little bit too long sticking out, so I don't know. It's up to you again, however you would like to attach it. But I think this guy looks great. He's got pretty much all the exact same articulation because they're all made from the same frame. But really nice chunky pieces here, and they have these kind of cables which look nice. Really nice attention to detail. Now this guy doesn't really have as much paint because it's mostly just, you know, molded different color plastics, but it works. It all looks fantastic. It's got the shield here on the shoulder. So again, really, really well done. Really looks fantastic. And I love that eye. They did a great job with that. It's like a metallic pink paint. Really, really looks good. Put this back in here. So very, very, very cool. Now this one, like I said, I'm not really familiar with it, but I love the look of it. Very cool. I think this is the MS00100. And I think it was called the Hyaku Hiku or something like that. Again, I'm not 100% familiar with it, but you can see it has the Hyaku kanji here on his shoulders. So that makes sense. But yeah, beautiful color scheme. The gold and the dark blue really pop. I love the accessory that he comes with. And then he's got this other gun that you can clip onto the backpack here. You can see that there's a clip right there, and it just clips into that little section. And then you can just bring this over and give him... You kind of have to like put the fist out to the side because it has this giant stock. And then you can just kind of like bring it back in so it fits. But then he's got these two giant guns. And I love these wings on the back. I don't know why, they're just really, really neat. I just think they look fantastic. And again, head sculpt looks really cool. So I love these. And the way they work, how they come in the box, so all of the armor comes on one of these. This is kind of like a super basic body. The arms are one solid piece. They don't have any articulation, but here's those other hands I talked about. You could take these off and you could plug them into these hands if you wanted an open hand for some reason. But basically, this is a solid piece except for the hand, and then this just slides onto this like that. There's no articulation in here. This whole leg comes off as one solid piece. There's a little bit of ball, or no, I guess it's not a ball joint. It's just a peg. Although this one doesn't. Well, there we go. Oh, I guess it is a ball joint. See? Don't doubt yourself. Trust your first instinct. But yeah, so basically this just plugs here into the waist. So this is a very basic body, but the nice thing is if you bought the one that just had the armor, you could display it on this. It would have no articulation, but you could at least display it so you wouldn't just have a pile of armor. But then if you buy the nice frame, that's where you get all the articulation from. So, like I said, I can't recommend these enough. I was really happily surprised. I mean, I thought they would be cool, but they really just wowed my expectations, exceeded my expectations. And I mean, there's no stickers. That's a big deal for me. All the paint applications look great. There's a ton of articulation, and they're fun and easy to assemble. You basically just take all of the armor pieces off of this and attach it to the same places on the better articulated bodies. That's really all you have to do. I think it took me maybe 20 minutes to do all three. It's really not that big a deal. So very fun and easy to assemble. No stickers, great paint, great articulation. Accessories are fantastic. I don't really have, like I said, minor nitpicks are just other things I wanted to see, like the shield being able to attach to the back of the RX-78, but not really anything to complain about. It's just like a wish list. It's like if I were making these perfect, but I have to say they're like 80 to 90% of the way perfect already. So if you're interested in checking these out, like I said, they're around. They are candy toys. So check whatever Japanese websites you like to look for candy toys. I got these on HLJ, but you do have to buy a full box, so you will be left with about 4 duplicates. I think you get an extra set of him and an extra set of him if you buy a full box, but there's only one Char's Zaku per box. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.